Hey Aquarius, what's up? Where I'm seeing a start is you thinking about something as a possibility, but what would possibly not have you going in this direction is not knowing whether or not it's going to be worth it to you. So this can be something new that you want to try. It can be something different. You could possibly want to switch it up or like go away that you haven't really gone before, try something out. But it feels like there is a big question mark on whether or not this would work, whether or not it would be worth it. So that can be something where maybe you feel like you're not totally ready yet, if you're not sure if something is going to be worth it or not at the end of the day. But your curiosity can be piqued and you can be like somewhat open to this, but just not totally sure. Or if you already engaged in this and already started, you can be in a period where you're like trying to get more information or evaluate, and you can still be at that point where you don't really know yet whether or not it's going to work. We're starting off with 8 of Pentacles. Seeing you be busy with things. Can even have a lot going on right now. Yeah. The Fool is the third card that we have out here. I was seeing this in the pre-shuffle. So having this is going to be like something that can feel kind of adventurous that you would be doing possibly. I get a question of whether or not you're open to this. It feels like it's an option, it's an opportunity if you want to go in that direction, but I'm also seeing with 8 of Pentacles and with King of Wands, you can have stuff that you've been working within that you may not have to go in this direction, but you can be like maybe curious or open to doing this. But I feel like you have other things going on too. Like this wouldn't be the only thing. I feel something appearing being like, well, this is an option if you want to go in that direction. But it's going to have to be a consecutive choice if that's the case. And I don't know if it's just something that would be complicated or it would ask a lot of you. Some of you could already be in this cycle. That can be something that you're doing already. Because the Fool is connected with 10 of Wands, so this can be so much newness that you don't feel acclimated yet, and the acclimation of things, that process anyway, can be something that feels all-consuming to the point where it can feel just like there's a lot of energy that has to go into it. Even to the point where you can be feeling maybe low energy a little bit. Like if you've already started this can be something that you feel like is wearing on you a bit. And there can be some concerns about this, but I feel like this is more so just because it's new. This is giving the feeling that once you get acclimated, it's not going to feel like that. I see your free bird nature be the thing that's guiding you through this. Like maybe there's something that feels really inspiring. Yeah, you can feel particularly inspired right now, but it almost feels like you're being a channel for this. I see it more so like that rather than it feeling like you came into this with some sort of plan. Feels like you're just kind of going where things are taking you. And as far as the buildup of energy, maybe this is teaching you that if you're going to be part of this process, you're going to have to let go and see where it takes you. Because you may be stressing yourself out unnecessarily, and this may be something where it's teaching you how to be open to the experience that's unfolding while not micromanaging and trying too hard to control to the point where you feel out of flow with the process. Kind of like having to take it easy as you move through this. And I'm also getting something about staying organized, but flexible. That being a big part of this. I see a desire for things to be planned out, yet I feel almost like if this is going to work, you kind of can't. But if you're really uncomfortable with that, there can be a lot of friction that you feel because of it. I see a lot of you have to see what's going to happen. You have to let things unfold. But if you're like, I need an itinerary and I need to know what's going on, I feel for some reason like that can't happen here if you're going to really be part of this. I get this also, there being this like spiritual influence of things where there's more than just what's in front of you. It feels like there's something bigger cosmically that's unfolding that's part of this, where you may feel more comfortable having an itinerary and having a plan, yet this feels like on a spiritual level you have to be okay with allowing things to unfold. Like it requires a degree of trust is what this feels like. But you cannot like that you feel like you're maybe at a crossroads or at an in-between, or kind of like, what's the plan? What's going to be happening? And I don't think that like what's actually occurring right now is so stressful. I think the way that you're approaching this can be. So there may be like a different way that you look at this, because this feels like all trying to gain a sense of control over what's going on, what's happening in this situation, factoring in something where if you really tune into the energy, it feels like you got to just go with the flow of this. That may not be your preferred style currently, but it is required unless you want to be really stressed out riding the ride right now. Having King of Wands and having 10 of Cups, I get the sense that you are where you want to be and you're happy with things, and that feels like it's really on point for you right now. Having King of Wands can mean you have a lot of responsibilities and you're even in charge of this process and carrying this out. So that can be part of what stresses you out. But I think that there's going to be a new way that you approach this, where it's finding a way to show up in the way that you need to show up while not being controlling to the point where you're no longer collaborating with the cosmic energy. So it's seeing kind of where your limitation is and respecting that. I see a lot of stuff having to do with chance and the cosmic unfolding of where things are going, things kind of being up in the air. You don't know where exactly things are going to land, but you kind of just have to be down for that. You put the work in, you have to see what's going to happen, and you have to be okay with whatever it is that's going to happen. This is like not being attached to the results of things. Where with 8 of Pentacles, you just do what you need to do. You show up how you need to show up. Wheel of Fortune is saying you don't get to control the outcome of how this is going to land and where things are going to go. And Hanged Man is just having Wheel of Fortune and having Hanged Man. This is Jupiter, Pisces, Sagittarian energy, which is like you have to see what's going to happen. You have to see what's going to unfold. You need to be unconditional with this process and allow things to happen in the way that they're going to. Because as much as we can like to pretend that we have control over what's happening, and if we move this piece here, then that thing's going to happen. This feels like there's something larger that's at play here within the scenario that you're in right now, and that all you need to do is focus on the work that you're doing, and that's it. And then as far as what happens from that, whatever happens is what needs to happen. Whatever is going to unfold is what needs to unfold, what's meant to unfold. And the part that you play within this is allowing that to happen. Because I get a lot about you being in a position where, yes, you need to show up, and you also need to not be controlling the circumstances to a point where it starts feeling like friction. That's where you know that you're crossing a line energetically and you need to take a step back. Because with King of Wands, 10 of Cups, if you're over here doing what you want to do, that's really what matters to you. If you're over here feeling happy with what it is that's going on, you're going to have to allow the outcome to be what it's going to be. Release control. That being the biggest message that I'm seeing here. But I will say, I think that it can be a little bit tricky to navigate a situation like this, because if there is any king that is the one that's in control, it's the King of Wands, and that's how we have you showing up. So it's finding the balance between showing up fully and caring about what you're doing, being devoted to what it is that you're doing, while also letting the result be what it's going to be. So it's focusing on what you're doing and not on the fruit that it produces. And that allowing for there to be more joy connected with the process rather than worrying about the outcome. Because then it feels like it's impacting the way that you're showing up, and it's also not making this feel good right now, because I don't know necessarily the direction that things are going in. I'm seeing a couple different ways that things can happen, and it feels like as soon as you start thinking about that and start worrying about that, stuff starts feeling heavier than necessary. So I think the biggest question is, do you feel happy with what you're doing? Do you feel connected with what you're doing? Like, is it where you want to be? And if that's really it. That's the only thing that needs to be checked in about. It's not about where things are going and you figuring that out. That part is going to unfold, and I almost get this being like a behind the scenes thing that you're not really part of. And as much as that can feel disconcerting at times, as soon as you lean into the trust that you have for what's unfolding, that eases up and you don't really feel that anymore. So you just got to keep going with what you're doing. It's like going through a process where you're following the direction of your intuition and your heart, and that's how you're steering. But as far as where that's going to take you, you haven't been told that. You just minute by minute are following the direction of things, and it's going to take you where you need to go. But as soon as you start being like, is it going to take me over here? Is it going to take me there? This is what could happen. It feels like you start coming, it's like you're not present anymore to the process. Because you're starting to worry about things that it's not your job to be thinking about those things. And it's not even in your like spectrum of control either. So you're just going to be driving yourself crazy thinking about this. Just keep doing what you're doing. Doing things in this way, where you're checking in moment to moment, it feels like it helps you find the best path as well. And that you end up being open to things that you wouldn't necessarily be open to. However, what can block this is if you're like, well, I can't see this far ahead, and so maybe this isn't a good idea, when really your higher self is like, your intuition is urging you to go in that direction, but then your anxiety is kicking on and being like, well, what's going to happen down there? And then it feels again like it takes you out of the present moment, when you're not making choices in the present moment anymore. And making choices in the present moment, it's not impulsivity, it's being tuned into the rhythm and flow. Because overall, everything seems like you're happy to be here doing this. You like the position that you're in. The only time when it starts feeling uncomfortable is when you start putting stuff on your plate that doesn't belong there. You start worrying about things that you're not meant to be worrying about. You're not even really meant to be thinking about. This is stuff that you just need to let it happen how it's going to happen. And to keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, you can be at a point where there's like a little bit of a fork in the road and you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. But I feel like if you just keep doing what you need to do, where things are going to go, like that path is going to be forged, and it's going to happen very organically. It's going to happen very naturally. But if you're thinking ahead at those next steps and you're not looking at what's in front of you, it feels like you're going to be misstepping, or at least concerned in ways that you don't need to, like stressing yourself out unnecessarily. And I get this overall message that you are going to adjust. Just focus on the here and now, and you're going to see things unfold. This also shows that if you keep putting in the work in the way that you are, having us start with 8 of Pentacles, having us end with 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is actually when you do see the fruits of your labor. It's when things come to fruition. And even though you don't need to be worrying about that right now, it's just saying to keep doing what you're doing and things are on track, and to not be focusing anywhere than what's directly in front of you. That's it. Because you're going to see things fall into place, but you have to trust here. And this can really be testing your faith right now. And I think naturally the ego is like, well, when I'm at a point like this, I need to figure out what's going to be happening. And it feels like something very organically is just going to unfold. You just need to keep doing what you're doing. If something is presenting itself to you, and this something that's presenting itself to you is a new wave, and you want to get on the new wave, connect with the new wave. You don't need to keep yourself away from this. I just get this sense of you like wanting to go in this particular direction, it being something new and it being something unfamiliar to you. And you can feel the weight of, like, I really am responsible for myself and what's going on here, and I don't want to be making the wrong choice. But if you're being called in this direction, even if it's something different, that is the way that you are meant to go. And again, when you start concerning yourself with stuff that you're not meant to be concerning yourself with, that's when it starts getting stressful. But you're going basically on a new adventure if you're going to follow the path. Some of you, this is going to be new people that you're working with, and you can be working with the energy in a different way too. New people, new scenarios that you're going to be in. Just go with the flow. It's in your best interest to do that. Because you can have some stuff popping up and feeling like it's not supposed to be happening, but it doesn't really feel like that's the case. I guess depending on your perspective, really. If you can see zoomed out, you're seeing that things are unfolding the way that they are meant to be, and that it's all aligned with your best interest. But if you're looking at it from a different vantage point, it could look like stuff is happening that's not supposed to be happening from your perspective, from your like 3D ego perspective. Okay. All right, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.